Hi dear Cancers, welcome to my YouTube channel, and in this video I'm going to talk about the September transits. September shouldn't be as eventful as August, but still it's an interesting month. At the very beginning of September we have 6 planets in retrograde, so the progress is going to feel very slow. It's going to feel as if we're walking through glue. Yeah, but thankfully Venus and Mercury are going to turn direct in September, and Venus is going to turn direct at the very beginning of September on the 3rd. Okay, so when the inner planets, when the personal planets turn direct, our daily life is affected by it. We can really feel the retrograde motion of the personal planets. But when they turn direct, things start going back to normal. So yeah. Next, so the usual overview is the Pluto, the planet of transformation, regeneration. It has been in your opposite sign for the past 15 years. That's a long time. Yeah. So right now it's like in the last degrees of Capricorn, and it's retrograde. So it's still working on some unfinished business in your relationships. You can still feel the intensity in your relationships until like next year, or even earlier, until like early 2026, because Pluto will be coming back in and out because of retrogrades. And so right now, those Cancers who were born in mid-July, you guys are feeling this effect the most. Like I would say those born on July 18th, July 19th, 17th, yeah, you guys are feeling the opposition from Pluto the most. And those of you who have Cancer rising, then yeah, those of you who have your rising sign on the late degrees of Cancer, like the 27th, 28th degree, you are feeling this opposition on your descendant. Okay, and so yeah, Pluto, and in general, on the world stage, Pluto has been transforming everything Capricorn related: corporations, banks, like institutions, power structures, governments, yeah, all of those things. And so imagine those kinds of transformations happening in your relationship area. Yeah, big changes. Pluto is not an easy planet, but when you work with it, I think it can be very rewarding, very transformative. Like Elon Musk is a Cancer, and while Pluto was in Capricorn, he became like a ultra rich billionaire, right? So it's not that bad. And since Pluto is like rules your 5th house, and so you are familiar with the water energy of Pluto. Yeah. Next, Neptune. Neptune has been spewing out fake news from Pisces. Yeah, like fake news, all of that stuff is definitely Pisces, because Neptune rules collective subconscious. That's why we have been like mentally ill, so to speak, like for the past decade. It has been in Pisces for a decade this year. It still has a couple more years in Pisces, and for you Cancers, that is your 9th house. Yeah, 9th house. So 9th house is your personal philosophy, your belief system, and Neptune in there kind of like has been probably bringing confusion, because Neptune is definitely confusion when it's in a bad mood. Like it's like a fog, you know, you can't see anything around you when it's foggy. Yeah, things are not clear. Yeah, but like if on a good note, when Neptune is in good shape, it can bring divine inspiration. So it can be like a more divine philosophy, yeah, in a good way. Yeah, but in general, Neptune in Pisces has been awful. Like I personally believe it has been awful. Neptune rules music, and the music in the past decade, I think it has been like the worst music. I don't know, maybe I'm just getting old. But what else? Spirituality, like lunatics, religious fanatics have been like they're not as prominent, I guess, as in like 2000s. But yeah, the mental illness, that has been the biggest theme since Neptune has been in Pisces. But it's gonna leave Pisces soon, so hopefully all the fake news and stuff are gonna go away. Have you noticed how the news are not objective? They don't even pretend to be objective anymore. they don't care. Like they straight up start promoting propaganda. Yeah, whatever side they are on, left or right, they just promote their side of their interpretation of the reality. They don't even try to be objective anymore. It's crazy. What a crazy time we live in. And next, Uranus. Uranus has been in Taurus since early 2019. So for Cancers, that is your friendship area. So Uranus feels at home in this area, and so your friendships have been probably exciting. Yeah, to use of technology. That probably Cancers, you guys probably have been more innovative than usual. Um, Uranus does that, and what else? Networking in unusual ways. Uranus is innovation. Maybe you've been friends with people you never thought you would be. Yeah, or very unusual friends. Okay, very original friends. So that is cool. And Uranus it still has like a couple more years in Taurus. So yeah, it should be exciting. Friendships should be exciting for a couple more years. Another exciting thing about your friendship house is that Jupiter is also currently in your friendship house until next May. So it's expanding your friendships, your networks. Okay, so if you still feel antisocial, I would say be out and about, make new friends. You can meet exciting people, and also, I would like to make an ad a little bit. Like, if you would like a reading, please email me or leave a comment under this video. I will contact you. And I offer like a birth chart analysis, astrocartography, transits, synastry, yeah, like solar returns. Yeah, and when it comes to like payment, I do like pay whatever you can. Yeah, I don't have like a set price. Some people have been like really generous, so I appreciate that. Yeah, those of you who are like broke, that's when we are broke, that's when actually we need astrology the most. So don't hesitate. Okay, please contact me if you are interested. So now I'm gonna talk about the inner planets. Venus is gonna turn direct on September 3rd, or well, for America it's September 3rd, but for most of the world it's gonna be September 4th. So yeah, Venus is gonna turn direct on the 12th degree of Leo. Cancers, for you, that is your money house. So I hope Venus retrograde in Leo has helped you to reassess your finances, your spending, your self-worth, self-confidence. Yeah, and I hope it helped to sort your relationships and all the financial issues, because retrogrades is like it gives us hindsight. Yeah, and hindsight vision is like 2020. Yeah, in my case, really personally, like it really helped me to understand the toxic relationship that I was in. Like I was able to analyze it without bitterness, without the emotions. Okay, so I hope retrograde helped you to do the same. And since it was in your financial house, I feel like it was mostly about finances for you. And I hope that it helped you solve all financial stuff, self-worth stuff. Yeah, and next, right after Venus turns direct on September 4th, Jupiter turns retrograde. It picks up the torch of retrograde from Venus. And so Jupiter is going to be retrograde until December 3rd, 2023, until the end of this year. And so Jupiter retrograde, the thing about the outer planets is that we tend to feel their effect the most when they're like retrograde. So in your friendships, maybe you will reevaluate stuff like when it comes to your friendships. Yeah, expansion in networks. What else? On September 6th, we have the last quarter moon in Gemini. So the last quarter moon marks the beginning of a week where not much happens. Yeah, I mean, it's not completely uneventful. It's just the things that do happen. It's like wrapping things up that started with the previous new moon, the new moon in Leo in August. Yeah, and so take this time to get ready for the next lunar month that will start with the Virgo new moon. Think of it this way, like life is a stage, as William Shakespeare said. So think of it this way, like the stage has been decorated in Leo themes, right? And now you are taking down those decorations and setting the stage up for the next new moon, so you start decorating it in Virgo themes. Yeah, so this period from September 6th to 11th is a time of preparation, wrapping things up, getting ready. Yeah, so that includes your body as well. Rest, energize, get energy, because the new moon is interesting. So the Virgo new moon is going to occur on September 14th. And if you are waiting for news, decisions, announcements, message, you can expect that to come starting from September 12th until like September 16th. Yeah. And so for Virgos, for Cancers, Virgo is your third house. So a new page in regards to your siblings, neighborhoods, neighbors, your car, short distance travel, and what else? Like cousins and stuff, aunts. Yeah. So some news relating to those, and also it's the house of communication. So something about your communication, maybe something about your phone, like a new phone or something. Yeah, and third house also rules writing, so maybe you will be writing a lot of stuff around this time. Maybe at work you will get like an assignment where you have to write a report. So it's an excellent time for these things, especially because the ruling planet of this new moon, Mercury, is also in Virgo, so it's strong in its own sign, even though it's retrograde, but it's about to turn direct around the time of new moon, so it's not too bad. Yeah, and so expect new stuff regarding your siblings, writing projects, yeah, like a car, neighbors, short distance travel, commute to work. Yeah, you can expect new stuff around those. And the thing about this new moon is that it involves, it forms a kite aspect on the sky. And kite aspect is really interesting because it is rare, and it is associated with fate, destiny, opportunity for growth. And so the luminaries, the sun and the moon, are going to be making a trine, like a big triangle with generational planets, like Uranus and Pluto. Those are outer big planets, and so there's going to be an easy flow of energy between those three. And then, so there's also going to be this practical, stable energy, grounded energy, because the triangle is going to be in earth signs, and earth signs are very practical, very grounded, stable. Yeah, and so the luminaries will be making an opposition to Neptune, so from your third house to your ninth house. Yeah, and there's going to be a need for balance, and thankfully that planet, those planets, Uranus and Neptune, are friendly not only with Virgo but also with Pisces, so with Neptune. So Neptune is going to be making a sextile to Uranus and Pluto. So this creates a sort of harmony, because Uranus and Pluto are going to be like mediators. We had this energy, like this kite aspect, during Leo new moon as well, but back then it was Mercury and Mars in Virgo. Okay, this time it's going to be Sun and Moon in Virgo. Yeah, so we did experience this, but this time, because of the involvement of the luminaries, I think we're going to feel it like even more profoundly. So this aspect can indicate that the month that's going to start with this new moon is going to be interesting. I would expect some destiny involved, like some opportunity, great opportunity from this new moon. And another interesting thing about this new moon is that it's the last new moon before a solar eclipse. We have a solar eclipse in Libra in October, and so so sometimes the event, the change that is going to come with the solar eclipse can play out a month before the solar eclipse or a month after the solar eclipse. So I would say be observant, pay attention, and be ready for possible changes that will come at this new moon. I'm not saying it's going to happen for everyone. I'm just saying it might happen to some Cancers. Yeah. Also, this new moon marks the beginning of the eclipse season. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but the month surrounding the eclipses is always a bit tense. It's hectic, I would say. Not in a negative way, hectic, like not in a negative way tense, but like you can feel the change that like the smell of change is in the air, if that makes sense. Yeah. So I would say the first half of September is going to be relatively peaceful, relatively uneventful, but the second half, it's when we start getting ready for changes that will happen with eclipses. And I don't know, I feel excited about eclipses, and I hope it will be exciting for you guys too. Oh, I forgot to mention. So, dear Cancers, for you, the eclipse is going to happen in your fourth house. Yeah, earlier this year, in April, you had an eclipse, a solar eclipse in your 10th house, the house of career. So your career probably has been going really well, and so in October, the focus is going to be on your home and family. Yeah, and Margot Robbie, like she's a Cancer, and look at her experiencing like an epic success in her career, thanks to that solar eclipse in her 10th house, and in Venus retrograde also. When Barbie premiered, Venus started going retrograde, and I'm sure it has improved her self-esteem, self-worth, because she produced that movie, a $1 billion movie. That's a huge success. So Cancers, I feel like this Venus retrograde was also about you guys feeling your true worth. Okay, and so I'm excited for this fourth house solar eclipse for you guys too. Let's see what changes it's gonna bring to your home, your family life. Okay. Next, after this new moon, Mercury is finally gonna turn direct. It has been retrograding in Virgo for the past 3 weeks. I mean, before this September 15th, and in your third house. So Mercury in the third house. So that must have affected your communication, your commute. Maybe, like, I don't know, there were like problems with commute. Maybe the subways were like full, or maybe there were roadworks, and that caused like delays in getting to work. Yeah, because in summer, you know, they fix a lot of roads, and that can cause delays and stuff, and misunderstandings probably happened. But thankfully, after this, when Mercury turns direct, things start going back to normal. I mean, I wouldn't get too excited right away, because Mercury is at its most confusing when it just turns the retrograde or when it's about to turn direct. So yeah, I would expect the days around this September 15th to be like confusing, not in a negative way. Yeah, so I would wait a week or so, or at least a few days after Mercury turns direct, to sign new contracts, new lease and stuff. Yeah, and then on September 22nd, we have fall equinox. The day and the night are going to be equal, because the sun is going to enter Libra. Yeah, and for you, Cancers, that is your fourth house again. So the sun is going to enter and start illuminating your fourth house, your home, your family life, your emotional foundations. Yeah, so the focus is going to be there. And then we have a full moon in Aries on the 6th degree of Aries. And so the full moon is going to be in your 10th house, and the sun is going to be in your 4th house. So your career and home, like yeah, those areas of your life are going to be illuminated. And 4th and 10th house are like the backbone of your chart. Those are the most important houses, one of the most important houses in your chart. So career-wise, you can achieve something like some sort of culmination. Maybe a project will come to an end, or maybe you'll be recognized for your efforts at work, because full moon is like fruition, illumination. Yeah, so career-wise, it's a really important full moon. Another thing is, this full moon is the last full moon before a lunar eclipse. We have a Scorpio lunar eclipse on October 28th. So again, the events associated with that lunar eclipse might play out during this full moon. So I would say pay attention. Yeah, and when it comes to aspects for this full moon, the aspects are all over the place. So I feel like our emotions are also going to be all over the place around this full moon. And so expect the 4 days before and after this full moon, 4 days before and after September 29th, to be like, I don't know, emotional, yeah, emotionally all over the place. That's what I got. Like when I looked at the chart of this full moon, I was like, oh God, like all of the aspects it's forming. Yeah, it's not neat. Like the planets are spread evenly, like everywhere. Yeah, so it should be interesting. Hi. So this is it for September. As I said earlier, it's not as eventful as August, but still it marks the beginning of eclipse season. Yeah, so uh, enjoy the first calm half of September, and the second half start getting ready for the eclipse ride. I hope you have a pleasant September, dear Cancers. It looks like at the end of the month you have some exciting culminations, some exciting achievement waiting for you. So I hope it will be pleasant. And if you like this video, please subscribe. I really appreciate your likes and comments. I have subscribers from so many different countries. I was surprised. Yeah, and so thank you. Thank you for your time. And I hope to see you guys in my October video. Bye.